Well, Christmas is often a time when many consider buying a new pet as a present. To discuss this, I'm joined live now by Dr. Claire Stephens. Claire, thanks for your time this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
So, Claire, there is a lot of excitement about getting a new pet. Is it a good idea at Christmas?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lovely time of giving, and of course, a puppy is one of the most ideal presents to give. But what we find after the excitement of getting a new puppy and the gift of giving, sometimes people realise that perhaps they weren't ready to take on a new member of the family and be a responsible pet owner.
Yeah, well, I think that's one of the things that people underestimate of just how hard work puppies are. It's practically like having a brand new baby. They do require a lot of attention. Some
Yes.
people do try and surprise someone with a pet as a present. That can often be a concerning thing if they're not quite prepared yet either.
Yeah, I would advise against doing that. I think taking on a pet, which is essentially a new member of the family, is something that needs to be well thought out and discussed. And also to be thinking, is the timing right? Are we able to financially and logistically take this on at the moment? So it's definitely a discussion that needs to be had and not an impulse buy or a gift.
Yeah, so I guess what are some of the things that you do need to think about in terms of upfront costs or ongoing costs and those logistics?
Well, firstly, I guess you need to think about where you're going to get the dog from. Are you going to get it from a breeder, a shelter, or a pet store? And the costs changed depending on where you get it. Obviously, with shelters being the most cost effective, and then they already come desexed, microchipped and vaccinated. So that is the best route to take ethically as well as financially.
So why should people, I guess, or if they do decide that they want to buy from a breeder, what are some of the things that you need to look out for to make sure that you are buying from something that's ethical and not exactly a puppy factory?
Yeah, so not all breeders are created equal, so we have to distinguish between the puppy farm or puppy factory type arrangements, or also sometimes they're called backyard breeders, or the more reputable, recognised and registered breeders. So figuring out the difference, I mean, the best thing you can do is to go to the facility itself. Nothing beats that. And you'll probably find that the backyard breeders are not so keen on you coming to their house and for you to see it because the conditions are generally lower. So that would be the first question I ask, can I come and see the mother and the puppy? And then you're able to see the health conditions, the nutrition and the general standards of the situation, whether they're doing it for money or for the love of dogs.
What about a couple deciding to get a dog in particular and both of them working full time? Is that realistic?
No, it's not. Puppies, as you said, are like babies. They are babies. They require regular feeding, often 4 meals a day. They need to have training and care throughout the day. So if you can't pop them in a puppy daycare or have a relative look after them, or in some cases take them to work, then it's probably not good timing. So leaving it to when you've got holidays or time off for a few weeks to get that puppy settled is a good idea.
What about vaccinations?
Vaccinations are really important. Vaccinations provide immunity against infectious disease. So, things like kennel cough and distemper. But one that I'm particularly concerned about at the moment, we're seeing about 20,000 cases of this across Australia, and it's called parvovirus. That's per year, 20,000 per year. Parvovirus is a really awful infectious disease. It enters the gut of dogs, causing a really horrible hemorrhagic diarrhea, vomiting and dehydration. And sadly, we lose about 50% of these cases, even if they are getting top veterinary care. So it's an incredibly lethal disease and something that we are still seeing, and we don't have to because it's entirely preventable.
And just finally there, we do see often a spike probably in around February or so, I guess, of people dumping puppies that they've decided are too hard to take care for. Is that one of the main warnings, I guess, that you really want to make sure over Christmas that you're not buying something or buying a pet that might in 2 months be something that could not really suit your lifestyle?
Yeah, absolutely. Want to steer clear of gifting dogs and impulse buys, and really make sure it's a thought out process. And getting support when you do get a dog, you're going to need to have the support of a veterinarian, perhaps a dog trainer, the whole family on board. It is a new family member, so it's going to require a lot of effort on all of your parts to invest in this dog, in order for it to be socialised and healthy and well trained, and for you not to come across those problems where you feel you need to relinquish it to a shelter, only contributing to those thousands of dogs that are being euthanized every year.
Definitely something to avoid if we can. Thank you very much for the update there, Claire. Some really insightful tips.
Thank you.
Well, moving on to other news now, and Android phone users are being urged to update their Twitter app immediately. The advice comes after the social media